Okay, so Ken Pearce is back for another month for our history talk. Ken Pearce is, of course, chairman of the Uxbridge Local History Society. And today's talk is entitled The Uxbridge Branch of the Barclays Bank. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, thank you. A bank was established in Uxbridge in 1791 by two local businessmen. Their surnames were Norton and Mercer. We know that they were cousins, but curiously enough, the first names are not recorded. Anyway, the building in the High Street where that bank began is today known, surprise, as Old Bank House. It's next to Walding's, the undertakers. From 1791 onwards, then, the bank existed and issued its own banknotes. Throughout the 19th century, the ownership changed, but there were always local men in charge. For example, the Quaker flour millers, surnamed Hull and Smith, ran the bank for about 40 years from 1813. In 1882, premises on the corner of High Street and Belmont Road became available, and so the bank moved to those larger premises. It now became known as Uxbridge Old Bank, and the founding date of 1791 was fixed to the outside wall. From this time onwards, branches were opened at Pinner, Northwood, Brentford, Hounslow, Southall, Slough, and Eton and Windsor. By 1887, Messrs. Woodbridge, Lacey, Hartland, and Hibbert were the directors. Now, at one time, there had been about 200 small banks just like this one in Uxbridge, all over the country. But by now, they were being taken over by a few large banks. And in 1900, Uxbridge Old Bank and its branches were taken over by Barclays. In 1913, the adjacent High Street premises were acquired. And about 1975, the adjoining property in Belmont Road was purchased as well. So now a major redevelopment began on the whole site. The front walls on the High Street and Belmont Road were propped up, supported and preserved, but behind them, the entire site was excavated and a modern 4-story bank built. So the new building opened, and a plaque inside on the High Street wall you can see as a reminder of the brass plate that hung outside the bank when it was taken over by Barclays in 1900. Old Bank House is now occupied by a number of Borough Council departments. The original black and white Uxbridge banknotes from the 19th century are now, as you guessed, collector's items. And in 2012, 3 banknotes came up for sale in London. An 1833 £10 note was sold for £420. A £5 note from about 1890 made £500. But an 1894 £5 note was sold for £950. There's inflation for you.
Well, thanks, Ken. Yes. We thought our petrol prices were going up through the roof, but there we go. Uxbridge banknotes. You should check behind your drawers and things if you've got any Uxbridge banknotes. Put them on eBay, quick.
Or checks even. You know, I mean, you can imagine very, very few of them survive, but nevertheless, they're collector's pieces too.
Ah, I didn't know that. There we go. Well, that one was a request, wasn't it? Somebody got in touch on Facebook and requested information on the Barclays Bank. So if anybody else has got any questions on the history of Uxbridge or a particular place, do get in touch, leave a message on Facebook, and we'll try and research it for you.